few years ago, I started a friendship with this girl. She was very interesting, and everything she said was exactly what you wanted to hear. But it was all a lie. She was, in fact, stealing my energy. And it wasn't just me, but she was stealing one of my close friends' energy and a few of my family members' energy. After doing much research and just trusting my own intuition and my own spirit, I came to the conclusion she was a succubus. Yes, most of the time succubuses are based off of stealing sexual energy, and we never had a sexual relationship, but she did steal our energy and do whatever she could to absorb our essence whenever she was around. And this sounds crazy, this sounds insane, but I slowly but surely, it's the truth. So I wanted to share my experiences with you guys on the internet and hope I could try to help a little bit. So this girl, the succubus, she always put everything on her time. If we would have a meeting or have some sort of time to get together, she would show up very late with some sort of crazy story why it wasn't her fault. Stuff that was really unbelievable, not real at all. Those were the first red flags. She never owned up to it being her fault. The next thing, she looked probably like she was in her late 20s. And me and my friends, we don't care about age. We're very many different ages. My best friend's a few years younger than me. I have friends who are a few years older than me. So we've never cared about age. So me and my best friend we're talking to the succubus, and we said we were guessing ages, and we guessed she was probably 25, 26. And she was so outraged because she said she was 22. She swore up and down she was 22. But here's something interesting. I've noticed this. You can always tell someone's age by their hands. Especially when you look deeply at their hands. Hands don't lie. There's plenty of wrinkles to show the age. And she did not have 22-year-old hands. So after a few months, we were all hanging out together at this festival downtown. And she started acting very strange. She was out of it. I've never seen her smoke before, and all of a sudden she was smoking cigarettes. And I believe she was drinking in public. She was hiding some sort of flask or a bottle in her purse, and she was getting drunk. So me and my best friend went over to one of the food stands to get food. And by the time we went back to where the succubus was, she was gone. When we searched for her all day, we could never find her. We texted her, no responses. A week later, we still hadn't heard from her. One of my friends from work brought up to me that if you check the online police department, there was a mugshot for this succubus. She had been arrested for assaulting a cop and for drunk and disorderly conduct. That's not even the scariest part. It was her photo and her first name, but she had a different last name. Completely different from what she had told us. A whole different identity, essentially. But the absolute strangest part was she was 35. The girl who had got mad at us for saying she was 26 was 35. That's strange. A lot of the things she told us were stupid lies. We tried to forgive it and overlook it, but slowly but surely, as we did a little more research, we found out she was lying about almost everything. Nothing she had told us was true. So it was about a month or so after when we found all this out. It was my birthday. And we were still trying to give her the benefit of the doubt and hope that maybe she would tell us the truth. Maybe there was a reason. But at my birthday, We have we host big parties. We go big. We have costume parties. We love murder mysteries. We do all kinds of stuff. And we all came in character because we're a bunch of actors and directors and creative types. And she got very out of hand and started yelling at my friends and really getting in too deep. Very, very harsh. She was smashing things. She was breaking stuff. And anytime we tried to send her home because she thought maybe she was drunk or high, she freaked out to the point where we had to literally drive her home. Me and my close friends and family members came to a conclusion that we couldn't be around her anymore because she was taking too much out of us. This is when we all discussed that every time we were around her, we were exhausted and tired. Not just from her hijinks, but emotionally and spiritually tired. She had given us crystals. And I'm a spiritual person and I love crystals, and I thought I could trust her at the time, so I accepted these crystals. And so did my other friend. We came to the conclusion that we should not keep these things if she was taking our energy, so we threw them away. We disposed of them properly and just got them out of our lives. And essentially, I had a lot more energy come back because of that. I don't know what her reasoning was for this, but she was definitely feeding off of us. And so we completely cut her out of our lives, completely got rid of her, deleted her numbers, deleted her Facebook, deleted everything. We blocked her, essentially. She still pursued us. She'd come to my work. It got so bad that we literally, every time we saw her, we just had to leave. So I moved away. This was last year. Last time I really saw her was about last year, maybe a few months ago now. But I just moved. And so I'm lucky enough to be away from her and not have to be in this constant place of having to avoid the succubus. But I'm a very spiritual person and I work on astral projection, and she also does. The other night when I was astral projecting, I guess, or at least going towards the astral plane, she revisited me. And it's been a while. And I was really hoping I was rid of her. But she came back. And I was able to confront her at least in this astral plane. But another reason I want to make this video is I've blocked her on Facebook. I unfollowed her on Twitter, blocked her there, blocked her on Instagram. But I'm pretty sure she's still subscribed. So I want her to know that I know the truth. I know you were taking my energy. I know you were malevolent towards me and my friends, and it's stopping now. You are not visiting me anymore in the astral plane, in my dreams. You are no longer allowed to come towards me or any of my friends. We are done. I'm not living in fear of you, and I'm reclaiming the energy you took from me. So the moral of this video is when your intuition tells you somebody's lying, they're probably lying. If you feel tired or drained from someone's presence, they are probably taking your energy. You are not crazy. You are not confused. You are not wrong. There are people out there who are going to try to steal your energy and take something from you and put you down like you don't know what you believe. They're also going to try to convince you of things that are not true. Do not believe them. You are important. You are powerful. And people want to crush you and take you down for that. I hope none of you ever have to encounter a succubus, but that was my experience from dealing with a succubus. I'm sad that it had to end like that, but I'm proud of myself and my friends for being able to see the problem, analyze it, and cut her out of our lives. And that's okay to cut people out of your lives. Sometimes you have to end things. Thank you guys for watching. Stay strong, stay smart, and stay spiritual. Have a great day. Remember, today is not like yesterday. Bye. Hello, so today I would like to talk about the Lyme Demon again. This is going to be part 2 of that video series. The first time I came into contact with that demon was on that playground, and it tried to frighten me and tried to scare me into saying its name, scare me into submitting. But the next 2 times I came in contact with it, it took a different approach. And that's what I really want to discuss, is that this demon had an understanding of me and had an understanding how to manipulate me and change its plans accordingly. It wasn't some sort of silly demon that didn't have a plan. It was ready. So the second time I came in contact with it, it came to me as a friend. It infiltrated my life and really messed with my brain for a very long time. This was probably one of the worst things, because it saw one of my weaknesses and it took a chance. I have a lot of problems with making friends with men, with other men. I don't have any guy friends really. Not a lot of them. And at the time when I was a kid, I had none. And the demon took advantage of that and went out of its way and found me a guy friend essentially, and then just used that person to really mess with my head and ruin it. Like it tried to start a lot of trouble. So that person left my life, and I'm not mad at the person. I don't believe it was the person. It was genuinely just this demon. But it's still, looking back in hindsight, I realized it was definitely the demon. The second time around, when this happened, the same kind of situation. It had been a few years since the first friend, and I was probably about 12 when this happened. I moved to a new house, and one of the neighbor kids wanted to become my friend. That should have been an instant sign that there was something up, because people don't really try to be my friends normally. And so this new kid, it started off very innocent, very nice, very friendship, led him into my life quickly, and it took a turn. He would start doing stuff that wasn't particularly right. He would steal stuff, not from me, but in general, and I don't really like to be around people who steal things. And he kind of wanted me to go down this path with him, and I refused. So we were having a party at my house for my church, and this kid wanted to come to the party, but he never actually asked if he could come. He just stood outside glaring at me until I said something. It was very odd and very strange, and it kind of drove a wedge between our friendship. And thankfully now, I'm glad it did, because it saved me the trouble of this demon. Of course, at the time I didn't know about the demon or have a name for it or even know what was going on, but now in looking back, I can recognize that it was one of the many times this demon tried something. So I did the main reason I'm making this video is to talk about how demons can strategize against you. They're not going to just attack right away the same way. They're not going to keep coming at you the same way. They're going to try different things. They're going to understand you and know you. And you need to be prepared for that kind of stuff. If you're dealing with something like this in your life, you need to be prepared that it could try different things. It's not going to just try to scare you every time. It's not going to try to just come at you the same way each time. So be prepared. I don't want you guys to go through the same thing I went through. Thankfully, I've gotten away from this monster and this demon, and I am strong enough now to ward it off and keep it away. But in general, it is still quite interesting to see how it worked and understand it a little more. So I hope you guys enjoy this and understand something from it. Remember, today is not like yesterday. Okay, have a good day. Bye. I would like to talk today about a demon that has been following me my whole life. This is going to be a longer series. This is not going to be something I can cover in one video. It has been around since I was a child, so this is going to be a lot of details. So this is going to be part 1, most likely, of this series. I was hesitant about talking about this, mainly because it was such a big problem for so long. But I am confident enough to say now that it has been taken care of and it has been dealt with. This isn't one of those metaphoric demons where it's like something that you're doing wrong in your own life and you call it a demon. This is an actual malevolent entity that has attacked me every way along the road. I've come to call this demon the Lime Demon, or the Lime Green Demon, or the Lime Green Imp. Those are just how I've referred to it, because once you name something, you can claim power over it, especially with a spirit and an entity. Some people, of course, believe that you shouldn't name things because then it gives it a place, but I'm going back to more biblical ideas where, as humans, it is our right to name things and have domain over them. So the reason I named this demon that, or the reason that this demon is the Lime Green Demon, is because every time I saw it, it had a green aura, a bright lime green aura. And at the time, my aura was purple. Of course, it's changed. We're not going to talk about that. So it was always a contrasting colors, almost in a way, of purple versus green in my life. So the first time I really encountered this entity was on the 4th of July, probably back when I was 5 or 6, I believe. It's hard to remember exactly because at the time I was a child and it was only a one-time incident, so I didn't really think of it as more than anything than like a everyday situation. But so on the 4th of July every year we would go to this park to watch the fireworks because I live in America and the 4th of July was a big deal to my family. We loved the 4th of July. So at this playground, it would be kind of at that twilight time between dusk and, before it's too dark out, but it's just dark enough so you can barely see anything. Enough so you can still be playing and no one cares. So we're waiting for the fireworks to start. And I was playing with a couple of kids I knew, and I went up on the jungle gym by myself. And I ended up at the part right before the slide. They have like a little alcove. And these 2 older kids stopped me. And one fell back and the other one got very close. And he looked me dead in the eye, and it was like, say my name. You know who I am. Say my name. And I was a little kid, and I was like, maybe he's one of my friend's older brothers. Maybe he's someone I've known from church or whatever. And he kept insisting that I knew who he was. So look him in the eyes and I know who he was. And genuinely, the fireworks went off, so I got away, ran away. It was very strange, very weird. But I always remember it to this day. I felt very uncomfortable and very unsafe. And it wasn't just like a playground, like bullying situation. I felt there was something evil there. And the fact it wanted me to say its name and know its name, looking back on it now, I realize that it was this entity showing itself to me for the first time, in this life at least. So that was my first real altercation with this entity. It gets far more interesting and far more malevolent as we go on, but that was really the first time I dealt with it. Looking at it now, I know this entity has, throughout my reincarnations or regenerations, whatever I want to refer to it today, it has definitely pursued throughout. So essentially, talking to me as a 6-year-old through this older kid was this way of the demon trying to remind me of who it was and remind me that it still was after me and still wanted me. Of course, around the same time in my life, I had nightmares of being attacked, about my home being destroyed, about being pursued by a snake that was green, and I think it was my subconscious or my spirit guides or something trying to alert me to what was coming. And I've learned a lot from it now, and so I really do want to share this with you guys because it was no joke. I was prey to this, and thankfully I got away from it. Thankfully I have defeated it and moved past it, but it was still something that was very real in my life. So this is part 1 of this video series. I am going to get more detailed. The further along and the older I get, the more obvious it was that it was attacking, and it's very real and very serious. So I hope you guys got something from this. If you are facing some sort of evil in your own life, some sort of demon, some sort of problem, just know that you can do this. This is not uncommon. You are special, you are strong, you are smart. You can beat this. There is nothing new under the sun, and it is lying to you. You are strong enough to defeat it. You are strong enough to walk away. You are strong enough to overcome this. With that being said, remember, today is not like yesterday. Thank you for watching. Have a wonderful day. Let's talk about the time a ghost saved my life.
A new era has begun. Prepare yourself for the apocalypse.
Hey Nation, what goes on? It's Jay with IRN, and today I wanted to tell you a ghost story. I figured because it's scary October, I would tell you one of my experiences with the paranormal. One of the many. But, okay, so, like the title said, this is the story about how a ghost tried to save my life. Well, I guess I'm saved, so I'm fine. Okay, so a few years back, me and my best friend Lexi, we decided to go out for a walk in our small town. It started off it was summer. It started off at like 7, but we talk and walk really far. So by the time, before we knew it, it was dark, and it was like 9:30ish. And so sometimes we make bad decisions. And so we decided on this day that why don't we walk by the local haunted house? Everyone has a haunted house in their neighborhood. Everyone does. I don't care what you say. There's always a haunted house somewhere. Ours happens to be like a historical haunted house. We live in the South, so it's like a big, it was like a plantation type thing. And it's close to where I live. And so me and my best friend were walking and just, talking, having fun. And we decided, okay, let's walk by the haunted house. And that's a good idea. It's the middle of the night. It's fine. So, and this haunted house is in a neighborhood. So we start walking down it, talking, smack, whatever, just walking. And, we're both we're both pretty adept to spiritual stuff. So we were like, oh, this could be fun. Let's go see. Ooh. And so we walk by the house, not expecting to really see anything, just to, creep ourselves out a little bit. And so essentially the house there's big shrubs by the house. There's big, shrubs that are taller than probably 7 feet or so. And so you can't really see past them. So they're at the far end of the house. So we're approaching the house, and we're just walking on the sidewalk. We're not doing anything crazy like going in the house or going near the house. And as we start getting closer, we hear a noise in the background. We start hearing a noise coming from the house, like a ch-ch-ch noise. Kind of like somebody's shushing us, or somebody's come over here. It was real weird, just enough so we're what was that? Was that like a neighbor? Was that something going on? And so we're like, okay, whatever, that's stupid. We're freaking ourselves out. So we keep walking, and as we get closer to the house, we hear, ch-ch-ch. And I'm like, what was that? And I love my best friend, but she was like, dude, we gotta get out. Like, she wasn't having it. She's like, let's go. So we start walking as fast as we can past the house. And as we get closer to the house, we hear, ch-ch-ch-ch-ch. And it gets louder and louder. And right by in front of the house, it's the loudest we could hear. So we pretty much sprint past the house. We get past the house, we're by the big shrubs. And we can still hear the thing, ch-ch-ch. And we're like, okay. So we're like, okay, it's back there at least. So we finally pass the shrubs. And on the other side of the shrubs, our town has this kind of big area where people walk. Like, it's a big 3-mile walk. And so we're approaching that. And, I mean, we live in a small town. It's late night. Nobody's really out. And we see, come around the 3-mile loop area, right after we pass the shrubs, are these two huge guys. Like, dressed all in black, real creepy. And, I mean, my friend, she put up her feelers. She was like, her phone was out. She was ready to call 911. She was like, ready, let's get out. I never think people are going to hurt me. I never do. But like I said, thank God my friend, she's more cautious than I am. So she's calling her boyfriend. She's calling, like, come get us, like, pick us up right now. We're out of here. And so I'm like, it's fine. It's just some random guys in town, whatever. So the guy's trying to look at us. But my friend, her feelers went up instantly that there was two creepy guys coming. And so she's like, can we go the other way? And I'm like, okay, fine. Yeah, we can go the other way. It's fine. So we back up. We start backing up. And the guys start walking towards us. And so my friend's on the phone. She's telling her boyfriend, get here, get your car, get here now. We're in danger. And so she starts backing away. And so I finally start catching up with her. And then the guys are still following us. And so we pass the house again. There's no more sound. There's no ch-ch-ch anymore. And so she starts running at full speed. She's in shape. I was a little chubby at the time. And so I try to keep up with her. We're running. And we look behind. I'm like, the guys can't, they must have stopped. They can't. No, they're running at full speed after us. And so my friend, she's just like, move it. And so we're running as full speed as we can away from these guys. We're long gone past the house. We're I don't know where we go. We didn't stop. She was in front of me and I just kept following after her. And these guys were they were behind us, but thank God we made an escape out of there. And right in the nick of time, her boyfriend's car pulls over. We jump in the car. And so we get out. We do a loop around to see who these guys were. We've never seen them before, never saw them again. It was real weird. Something funky. So after we got done, we kind of, we digested our night, and we're like, that was real weird. That was terrifying. We were like freaked out because these creepy guys are chasing us, right? But then we started thinking about it and talking about it, and we're like, the weird part is right before all this happened, we heard that noise from the haunted house. And up to this point, it's all been, ooh, the house is scary. Ooh, the house is evil. And after learning some of the lore and learning some of the stuff about the house was owned by, a lot of families and, mature Southern women. And it was one of those things where they were, known for being very protective, very, loving women and everything. And so my theory is that these ghost women knew these creepy guys were walking, near the house. And what we kind of came to the conclusion is that these ghost ladies were trying to tell us, go away. They were trying to scare us away from that street. They were trying to send us home. They're like, get out, like, shh, get, like, shoo. And so essentially the ghosts were trying to protect us, but we weren't listening. We were too busy trying to scare ourselves or looking at these spirits like they were malevolent, instead of just listening and trusting what they had to say and heading home. Would have saved us some trouble. Thank God we're okay now. Thank God nothing bad happened to either of us. But it was overall a lesson in, not everything is as it appears, and it's important to listen sometimes. Alright guys, thanks for watching. Please remember to rate, comment, and subscribe. And if you want to see more scary videos like this, leave a comment down below and we'll see what we can do. Ha ha ha. Anyway, remember, today's not like yesterday. Okay, bye!